If you're relatively new to drums, I'm about to teach you 3 drum fills that you are going to use for the rest of your life. Or however long the neighbours put up with you having a drum kit in your house. Greg. It's antisocial. 3, 4. 1, 2. Number 2. Number 3. They might all sound similar, but that is because I'm playing them around the kit in similar ways. And the thing I'm going to do to break this up and make this more useful than just you regurgitating what I'm playing, I'm going to get you to improvise these drum fills around the kit. But don't worry, don't go away. It's not as scary as you think. Stay with me. So fill number 1. 3. Oh, it's a classic. They're all classics, but this one in particular is ticky boom, right, left, right, right, left, right. Start it out on the snare drum first of all. Try and get all the accents or your volumes between hands nice and even. What we're going to do is we'll count 2 beats of nothing and then we'll play the fill, because this fill is 2 beats long and you'll get this. So 1, 2, ticky boom, ticky boom. 1, 2, ticky boom. Feel free to play along with me. You also don't need a drum kit for this. One more time. Da, 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 da. So keep it going. And we'll try and add the correct count. So let's bring the speeds down. 3E and 4E and. 1, 2. 3E and 4E and. The counting out loud is going to help you stay in time and always know where you are. 4E and. Now the ands of those 3E and 4E ands are going to fall in a right hand, and we're going to place them now on a tom, and this is where you start to get a little bit creative. You can first of all play with me and you can go high, low, so right, left, high, right, left, low. So we're always coming back to home base, back to the snare drum. 1 E and 2 E. That, 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 that. And do the same exercise again, so 2 beats off, and then we'll play the fill. So 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and. 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and. This is where you can start to move it around, maybe like 3 E and 4 E and. 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and. Why not? 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and. Just start moving around the kit however you like, but that starts to just get the creative juices flowing a little bit, starts building some neural pathways and opening up whichever side of the brain it is that works with improvisation. Tell me in the comments which ones that is. Now let's add it in with some groove. So we'll play a bar of grooves, just a straight 8 groove, 8 notes on the hi-hat, 2 and 4 on the snare drum, 1 and 3 on the bass drum, and then 2 beats. So 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and. So it's a 2-bar figure. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and. As you get a bit more comfortable, you might start moving the left like this. 2, 3 E and 4 E and. Whoa! Or maybe even adding a crash on the 1 like this. 2, 3 E and 4 E and 1. Oh! All of a sudden, this starts to sound like you know what you're doing. God forbid. I know. That one you saw me go around the kit, so snare, high, floor, is a particular favourite of mine. But when we're messing around with this, if you're keeping the rhythm the same, try your best to keep counting while you do it. The more you can enforce to yourself verbally what is going on, the more it's going to sit and more it's going to get understood over time. So you have to think about it less as you progress. But there you have it. That's ticky boom, ticky boom. 3, 4, 1, 2, ticky boom, ticky boom. Just as an aside, if you're watching this video and you've seen other videos of mine before and you aren't subscribed to this channel, do me a solid. Go do that. Like, most people aren't subscribed, even though they watch the video. It makes no sense. I don't know why. You've had time. Okay, you've done it. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Fill number 2. Definitely not the beginning of Land Down Under. Okay, what's actually going on? So we're sticking in the theme of 2-beat long fills because more often than not, they end up being 2 beats long. And we're literally going to go right, 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 left, right. Very similar to ticky boom, if you think about it. So right, right, ticky boom. But we're going to try and count correctly because, again, it just will help you so much in the long run. Making sure that those first 2 notes, those 8th notes, are both right. What? Why are we doing it like that? Well, I don't want to get too bogged down into explaining why we're doing the sticking this way. There will be purists out there, including myself in a lot of cases, to be honest, who would go, well, it's 8th notes, so you play it right, left, right, left, right. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, what can help with timing sometimes, especially when you're just trying to get to grip with timing and getting fills in time, it can be really handy if you keep your 8th notes a constant right hand flow of notes. So, for example, when we're playing a groove, we've got this going on the whole way, and that's your 8th notes, all in the right hand. So let's say you wanted to then play in time around the kit. It gets a lot easier if that right hand is always just playing constant 8th notes. You can iron that out after the fact, but I'd suggest starting there if you find that timing is an issue especially. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. So, as we already know, the rhythm is 3 and 4 E and. So we're going to do exactly the same as we did before. Count just through the bar. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 E and. Hold it. And play along with me if you want to. 3 and 4 E and. I nearly played to the left. 3 and 4 E and. 3 and 4 E and. Keep that going. So my personal kind of favourite way to move this around the kit is to go 3 and like I showed you just before, snare high floor. 3 and snare high floor. Classic. Pat, boom, pat, pat, boom. And then you can start to get a bit more creative maybe with the first 2 notes. But if you just want to get into the flow of it, set yourself rules. So, for example, with 1, I'm going to say, okay, the first 2 snare drums I'm going to keep on the snare drum, and then I'll mess around with that 4E and, like this. So that. Once you feel like you've got a bit of flow with that, go a lot slower than I just did. I've been doing this a while. You want to go the speed at which you're able to count through it while you play it, and also stay in time, and keep the rhythm the same, and keep the sticking correct. Oh, that's a lot of stuff, and that's exactly why you should go really slow. I'm watching you. When you play drum fills, do you feel like you always revert back to the same fill, and when you try and play said fill, it always speeds up and goes horribly out of time? Well, you're not alone, because that is most people, and that is exactly why I've created a 28-day bootcamp called Fill with Freedom, in which you will be able to, by the end of those 28 days, play drum fills in time. And there'll be interesting ones too. If you want more information about that, just click the link that is above my head. So now let's add this with that bar of groove at the beginning. So we get a bar of groove, 2 more beats of groove, and then the fill, like this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and. Notice how that right hand is just staying the same speed the whole way through. 1, 2, 3 and 4 E and. Maybe crash on the 1. Feels good because it is good. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and. Keep counting out loud if you can. If you find you can't, slow it down until you can. Give it a go, see how you do. There you have it. Definitely not Land Down Under. You know what I was saying about that subscribing malarkey? Push the boat out. If you could like the video as well, that'd be fab. Make my day. Share it with a friend. Why not? Okay, last fill. Fill number 3. 1 double double 1. Absolute favourite of mine, because for me it unlocked being able to count and read rhythm and do all sorts of cool stuff and be able to play cool fills around the kit. It's just really good in so many ways. 1, 2. 1, 2. So why am I calling it 1 double double 1 instead of going 1 and a 2e and, which we will be doing in just a moment? Well, to me, it helped a lot because I struggled a lot with reading traditional notation and counting in the traditional way. So don't feel too bad if you struggle with that too. This can just help bridge the gap a little bit, especially when we're trying to connect the dots in terms of the notation we're seeing and what the sticking should be. So by having a word association, if you've ever done learning rhythms either with kids or even as an adult, learning things like tea, coffee, Coca-Cola, word association instead of going 1, 2, and 3, and a, is completely normal. And for me, I found it particularly effective. So with this, it is 1 double, right, right, left. Get that down by itself first. 1 and a. And what might help here is actually putting the 1 on the floor tom straight away. So 1 and a. 1 and a. 1 and a. 1 double, if you think about it that way. Even though I say double, I don't mean play a double, which would be right, right, or left, left. And that's exactly why we try and use the traditional count, because things start to get a bit murky when we use different words, but it worked for me. So 3 and a, because remember, we're dealing with a 2-beat long thing. So start with 3, 3 and a, and then 4, we're just playing the 4e and, the right, left, right, that we're used to already, that we did in the other 2 fills. So that should feel a little bit more comfortable. So try and stick them together now. So we'll get 3 and a. Remember that right hand is coming over to play the next note on the snare drum as well. So 3 and a. 3 and a. And maybe even 4e and. Oh, that's a doozy. 3 and a 4e and. 3 and a 4e and. Now, most people will probably stop counting at some point or another and realise, honestly, it's easy to remember if I just listen to the melody of the toms. And that's totally fine. In fact, that is the way you really, really want to learn, because we want to train our musical ear as well as our timing and counting. But if you want to know where you are at all times, which we definitely do, it's a fine balance between just listening and hearing what it sounds like and knowing exactly where you pinpoint are at all times by using counting. So the melodic part starts to happen and you start doing more listening once you are so comfortable with this and the timing behind it and getting out of it and playing a crash on the 1 and stuff like that. So I'd suggest keep counting until it is super duper comfortable, even while you're trying to improvise a little bit. It's up to you. It's a bit of a murky one, but just make sure you keep counting at some point. So now let's put it all together again. So we'll get a bar of groove, 2 beats more of groove, and then the fill. And you can do exactly what I just did there. You can choose to either improvise the first bit, so the 1 and a, or the second half, which is 1e and, or whatever the number at the beginning of it is. You know what I mean. So you could go, so that's me just on the snare drum for beat 3, around the kit for beat 4, or you can put it on its head and go 1 and a 2e and, for example. Sorry, I keep mixing up my 1, 2, 3 and 4, but again, hopefully you know what I mean. Okay, stick it all together. We will get this. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 2 more. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4e and. Getting comfortable putting a crash on that 1 as well. Try not to rush. 1, 2, 3 and a 4e and. Ooh, right hand crash, living dangerously. Practice all the crashes, hitting all the crashes. 3 and a 4 E and. If you've got enough time as well, you could even hit both crashes. Really live rock and roll and dangerously. And as you get a little bit more comfortable with this, there's nothing stopping you from also improvising these rhythms around or with your fills. So you could technically go, right? You could technically put a crash on 3, because why not? Live a little. Whoa, that definitely starts to sound like a drum fill then. Have an experiment, see how you do. Maybe even for the laugh of it, try and play the whole thing across cymbals, see if your bass drum can keep up. So learning these 3 fills and starting to move them around the kit is a fantastic way to dip your toe into improvising your own fills around the kit and how to keep them in time. And I hate to break it to you, but it is going to take more than one video to help you achieve just that. But to be able to unlock freedom around the kit, it doesn't take as long as you think. In fact, you can do that in less than a month. And I know that sounds whack, but I'm not joking. I've just created a 28-day bootcamp called Fill with Freedom that helps you do just that. And this thing is bomb-proof. You get video lessons from me every single day. All you have to do is plonk your bum in your drum seat and play what I play. It is that straightforward. But if you feel like one video lesson a day isn't enough to kind of motivate you or give you the support you need, don't worry, we've got you covered on that too. We have the drum support line, which means you can message and send videos to a drum tutor who can give you specific advice for what you're struggling with. You'll also have weekly workshops where you can meet other people who are in exactly the same position as you, working through exercises from the course so you can ask questions if they've come up, or you might see people who are struggling in the same way as you, and it just helps make the whole thing a lot easier. You can also make drum friends. Who doesn't want drum friends? And if that wasn't already a recipe for major success by the end of this month, you also have 2 one-on-one lessons with a real drum tutor, so you can really get into the nitty-gritty of technique and spend some real time ironing out any problems that you might have. I think this might be the most streamlined, bomb-proof, foolproof, excuse-proof way that you can finally start improvising in-time fills around the kit. But I have one more massive incentive. If you get to the end of this bootcamp, you go through every lesson, we will give you your money back. You don't even need to be unhappy with the progress. If you're happy with the progress, that's an extra win. I have a lot of faith in this, and I think a lot of people will see the benefits. And yes, you could technically sit and watch all of the videos and not play any drums, but that'd be a bit silly, wouldn't it? So if you find you want to be able to play your own drum fills around the kit without speeding up in less than a month, I think now is the time. Hopefully we'll see you there. Just follow the link that is down in the description. And to everyone else, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Big love.